Welcome back to Sheffield Live. I'm Baile Jallo. As you will know, if you've just joined us, we are discussing Liberia today, and we are discussing about the disappearance of 16 billion Liberian US dollars, which came to surface just 2 weeks ago. For those of you who might not know how much is that equivalent to, it is equivalent to 104 million United States dollars. Yes, that's Liberia having 104 million United States dollars disappearing, and nobody knows where it's gone. Not the president, not his ministers. But so far, Liberians are doing all they can to find out where that money is gone, to find out who's got the money, why it went missing, and where it went missing. Because according to reports, the money disappeared from the port, the Liberian free port, on its way to the Liberian Central Bank. But since November, nobody knew until 2 weeks ago when a journalist in the country brought the story out. So I've got here Maxine Pacquiao, who is a political commentator, who is also an author, a radio show host at Boss Media Radio International, which focuses on world issues, but most especially Africa and Liberia, to be specific. So he's been the one helping me to absorb what I really found strange, because to be honest, I didn't even know Liberia has got that kind of money. But today, now I know Liberia, or Africa in general, we've got money, but it's those people in the top who enjoys it. So moving on, Max, we were talking earlier about whether you believe those or whosoever is responsible for that money, whether there will be, if ministers are involved, whether there will be any justice. If we can just move into that, because the more we talk about it, the more we get emotional as Africans.
Yeah, okay.
I understand you wrote a letter to the British Prime Minister as well, Theresa May. Talk me through what was that letter about?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, for this year, this is my second letter to the Prime Minister. This particular letter I just wrote, it just coincided with the development we're just coming from talking about, which is the missing 16 billion Liberian dollars. I wrote the British Prime Minister because I feel that this country is single-handedly contributing aid to Liberia. Even this year, my understanding is that they even contributed in the health sector equivalent to 75 million pounds. So that's a good money. Now, from where we stand, this is a government or a country that we still have warlords, people who actually brought war in the country, who went abroad and planned war to come and wage it on their own people. We still have these individuals in government and also corrupting the people, the very people that they decided yesterday that they're going to come and give them freedom. Today, they don't have freedom. We don't have it. So this country, being the country that continues to give aid to Liberia, we believe they have a responsibility that they can add their voice on what is going on in Liberia. So I am calling on this government, the government of the United Kingdom, through Mrs. May, to say, look, yes, we thank you for all the help you're giving us as a country, as Liberia, but we want you to help us. We have a document on hand that we call the TRC, which is the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Okay.
This document, it was put together since during Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's time, and since then up to the present, we do not have any. There's no action being taken. Nobody being punished, or according to the recommendations. None of it has been acted upon. And we also have this new government. Since President Weah came to power, we are calling for the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code for Liberia and the full implementation of the TRC recommendations. Mr. Weah hasn't said anything about it. So we don't even know where he stands. And we still have these warlords in government. Some of them are even elected or so. So I'm saying, if this is the case, we want you to please add your voice on it and call on this government, President Weah's government, to please hear the Liberian people calls and say something about the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code and the full implementation of the TRC recommendations.
Okay.
And then I also said that in my letter, I brought in about that at the time of writing this letter, 16 billion Liberian dollars is gone missing. We don't even know where the money is. And this will hamper the growth of the children of Liberia. We want you to please help us to investigate the matter. And as of now, I will appreciate if you can hold on to any aid that you want to send to Liberia until all of these issues can be addressed. That's what I said in my letter. Talking
of that aid that you just mentioned, that brings us back to the money that's gone missing, or to that disappearance of that 16 billion Liberian dollars. If the United Kingdom or Britain provided Liberia with 75 million pounds of aid, and now they get to know 104 million United States dollars is gone missing, which nobody knows where that money is gone. Do you think it will be fair on taxpayers in this country or the government to be spending more money to Liberia again, knowing that, well, look, you know, which is the case all the time. Aid comes to Africa. They always hear these billions of billions being pumped to Africa, sent to Africa. And few people get this money, and they are the one enjoying the money, and majority of the masses don't get to see a penny of those money. So do you think it is fair on Western government or Western countries to send more money when the money is not reaching the right people? That's my first question. And the other question comes to like imperialism. You're asking Mrs. May for help. When at your beginning you mentioned Liberia, quote unquote, you believe is still not independent. So how will Liberia be independent if you are still relying on countries like Great Britain or America to sort your issues in Liberia?
Well, let me start off. But the thing is, it is in the history already. I mean, as far as I just seen it from my perspective, as far as the way we've been running.
But why not call on other African countries? Why not call on your government? Why does it have to be Britain?
Well, because we don't go.
We've got the African Union.
Listen, Liberia,
we've got the African Union.
But Liberian,
we've got ECOWAS.
Yeah, but Liberian president or Sierra Leonean president will not go to Gambia and ask for aid. They go to China. They come to Europe. They go to America and beg for aid. We saw them recently. They were running there.
Definitely. We're talking about the warlords, which you said you want Theresa May to intervene, to put her words there, to put pressure on the Liberian government. Do you think the Liberian government is going to listen to Theresa May's pressure? Or why will you want the British Prime Minister to get involved in Africa in an African issue?
Because they've been involved in issues that has to do with human rights.
But how will you be independent if you are calling them again to come and get involved?
Well, this is human rights we're talking about here. And human rights is the same thing they're talking about right now at the United Nations. So when you call one body that make up the United Nations, it's not bad of you calling and say, because you've been helping me. You've been helping me, even if I don't ask you, you help me. So why if I ask you now, come and help me? You will not be happy? Yeah, Max is really in need now. The last time, I assisted him twice, more than twice. He didn't ask me, but now he's asking me. That means he's really in dire need. So what we are saying, all we don't want maybe the British government, like you said about taxpayer money. You're paying your taxes here. And you imagine now, I mean, $75 million or $50 million sent to, or 50 million pounds sent to a country in Africa, and you hear that money gone, missing or so. How will you feel? You're not going to feel good. So what we're saying, we want this government, Mrs. May and her government, to just hold on to any aid that they will have as a package for Liberia.
To hold on to aid, I agree to it. But going further, according to you, was to get involved to the Liberian issue, speak to the Liberian government to see where George Weah stands, which was my issue. I'm not saying there is a problem with it, but now come to the warlords, as you mentioned as well. The warlords that you mentioned, some of them are elected in Liberia. You and I know that. Right? And as a Liberian, I believe you didn't even vote because you were living in Britain.
A lot of them.
So if a Liberian warlord or a former warlord, if you get elected in Liberia, that means they are still popular. That means Liberians don't want them for justice, because had it been they want them to be to be put to justice, you will not elect them, because I believe the election was held free and fair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go from that perspective, that maybe some, but if you
if you're looking at the majority wants them to be in power.
This is we're talking about Africa here, and we're talking about region, and we're talking about counties or so. So, I mean, not being elected as the president, but being elected as a senator or a representative.
Whom are you talking to be specific? Because talking about senators.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, if Prince Johnson, former warlord, somebody that I want to see facing the economic crime code and war crime code right now in Liberia, if they can be elected yesterday, it's not the fault of the entire Liberian people.
Okay. What about Charles Taylor, who got elected as the president?
Well, look, I mean, that's another.
And Charles Taylor today is not only facing crimes. He didn't face crime for Liberia.
That's another argument in terms of I know how I've been discussing that. Even Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she shouldn't have been elected. I discussed that and I said.
But that's my problem here. You alone, you as a commentator, or few people who lives in the diaspora, right? Cannot sit here in Britain, wants to know what's happening in Africa, why? Or gets to rule, to decide issues that are affecting Africans in Africa.
No, but we have voices.
I'm not saying you don't have voices. I have voices, but all I'm saying is you can affect change.
Yeah.
But Africans in Africa, Liberians in Liberia, they are the ones who voted. I'm not here supporting Prince Johnson. I'm not saying he is right what he's done. All I'm saying is because he's not here to defend himself. All I'm saying is Liberians voted him in. And if they wanted to bring him into justice, the first step was for them not to vote him in. Because at the end of the day, as soon as you are voted in, that gives you even automatic immunity.
It happened yesterday. And today now Liberians are saying, well, we made a mistake yesterday. And I think we can recorrect it. It's not late. That these people can still pay the price, so that what is still going on can serve as a deterrent.
So you think Liberians are only noticing that now less than a year?
I think, it's not less than a year.
Less than a year since he was elected.
No, I'm not talking, in terms of George Weah, but I'm talking about, I'm talking about the warlords. They've been in power, some of them being in power before even George Weah came to power. So
I believe during the presidential election, Prince Johnson was re-elected again.
Yeah, he was.
Exactly. So it's less than a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, if you make a clumsy mistake, you sit down in your own little closet and have a think over it. And then you say, well, I realized my mistake. Even with your own friend. And you say, look, that what I did to you yesterday was really wrong. I'm sorry. I think you have a drawing table to get to.
Okay.
This is what Liberian people have decided.
No problem, I agree. Today. So let's not waste much time on this. So how many warlords are you wanting to be brought to face justice?
All of them.
All of them. How many of them?
No, I mean, there are many. They are in the TRC recommendations.
Example, you've just mentioned.
Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, as she's
your former president.
Oh yes, I want
the one who is a Nobel laureate, Nobel Peace laureate.
That's it. The outside Liberia.
And just yesterday, she won an award in America as well.
That's outside Liberia. She can get an award in Liberia.
Do you think, had it been, she was involved in many of the issues that was happening in Liberia, she would be getting these international recognitions?
Yeah,
being a peace advocate, because she won to be a Nobel Prize.
In a way,
you must have advocating peace.
In a way, yes, they don't know about her. Maybe they ignoring what we have, we continue to talk about Liberia involving her. Okay. But if I want to see anybody facing war crime right now in Liberia, I will start with her. It will be Prince Johnson the next, and the list goes on. Okay. Because right now, the architects of the MPFL war, there were 3 people, according to Mr. Charles Taylor when he was here at The Hague. 3 people. He himself, Charles Taylor, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and Tom Owoyo. Tom Owoyo was found guilty in the States the last time. He's in jail for 30 years. And you know Mr. Taylor is here for 50 years. So we got 1 more to go. When we get one of them, which is the madam. Okay. The rest now, we're not going to, I mean, that is not going to be anything for us. We'll just be pulling them and putting them somewhere. Okay, just to make it clear for our viewers, Mr. Taylor is in prison in the United Kingdom for 50 years. But to make it clear, he's not in prison here for crimes committed in Liberia. No. He's here for crimes committed in Sierra Leone. Yeah.
And I just wanted to make that clear. And talking of these warlords, many Africans or many African presidents or governments argue the International Criminal Court is just a body that is there to prosecute Africans. So what's your take on that?
You know, when that issue came up first, I had a problem with it. The problem I had with it was as well I was agreeing with the argument that why should this code be established, and we have not seen, you know, countries like the United Kingdom, like the USA, you know, being sent there to face persecution.
Which is what brought me back. Why I was asking you why you wanted Britain to help you bring human rights in Africa or in Liberia when you know, is that not contradicting? Are you not contradicting yourself?
No, I'm not. In a sense, this is a country that they are still sending their hard cash to. Your money is being sent for war, you know, to support war criminals.
So all you want is just for the cash to be stopped.
Are you not feeling bad about that? That your money is being sent to support a war criminal? You should be angry with that. You should be hurt if you hear that.
I totally agree for the money to be stopped, but when that money is stopped as well, look, the people who are suffering, it's not going to be Prince Johnson or those who are in government. It's the layman down there.
No, but no, I mean that's the way they should do it. That's all you know I can do. But do not. I mean, to send cash to a government in Africa, especially in my country, I wouldn't advise Theresa May to send cash there.
Okay.
And so the issue of the RCC, to be honest with you, I would have loved to have seen Tony Blair gone there. I would have loved to have seen George W. Bush gone there.
Okay.
I argued that so many times during the Iraq War, right after the Iraq War. Okay, it didn't happen.
Okay.
But I would love to if they can go to the RCC as well.
Okay, we've got less than 5 minutes to go. So moving on, I understand you've launched an appeal recently to help Liberians in Liberia, you know, and there was, according to reports, there was floods in Liberia. Just summarize what the appeal was about and how far you gone so far?
Yeah, it's about nearly 8 weeks now since heavy rain came down in Monrovia. In fact, the first 3 days of when it started, even blocked the road from Monrovia to the Rabat International Airport, which maybe you could have a little idea of. And that went for days. There was no car passing through, and a lot of people became displaced also. So I told him why. I said, well, I mean, what can I do as an individual? So, you know, I've been doing my bit and pieces under my little small charity that every year I would take stuff, donations and things, give it to orphanages and hospitals. But then I told him, why? I mean, these people are sleeping outside today. A lot of them are children, older people. I know people with who are physically challenged or, you know, with multiple disabilities. So I called a few friends in America and here, and I told them, I said, this is it. Well, I want us to please collect put some money together and send it back home and see whether we can identify ourselves. And some guys agree. So we took about 2 weeks. We were able to collect at least a little bit, almost 1,000 Liberian dollars, I said US dollars, for the first 2 weeks, and we sent the money. That money went to the National Disaster Management of Liberia, and they were able to, you know, buy some, you know, stuff and went to the community to share. But then thereafter, some Liberians started contacting me on Facebook also and asking me whether the collection time was over. I said, oh, so we relaunched it, which of course ending this September with climax in the Monrovia, where we have children, volunteers in the street. They'll be engaging with the community doing street collection, and then the little amount we have collected through GoFundMe from the diaspora, we'll send that amount to by this Thursday, so that Friday, whatever they will collect there, and because they're also been collecting donation in Monrovia as well, because we're teaming with a radio station there, people have been carrying small money there as well. So we just put it together that day on Friday and pass it on to the National Disaster Management of Liberia.
Okay. So. It's unfortunate that we only got to know this late now. But for someone who will be willing to donate or who is wanting still to donate, is that possible, and where do they need to go?
Well, yeah, it is possible, because a lot of people, as we speak right now, people are sleeping in open places. Somebody called me, you know, their sisters, give birth in that open place because they don't have home. Even if the water goes down now, there are people, you know, the houses in Africa, sometimes they put a zinc around it, or sometimes they put mat around it. So imagine water reaching to the window level. So if you go now, the house, there's no more house. Definitely. So yeah, definitely. If somebody wants to, well, come in with any donation, we're looking for cash or so, they can contact me. Even go through my Facebook and contact me, Max K Mixer. Max K Mixer. You can get me on Facebook and just reach me. If not, we also have Pastor Bazi is also here. He's aware of it in Sheffield. You can also contact Pastor Akwe Bazi.
Do you want to put your number there so that in case if anybody wants to get in contact, or how do you spell your Max K as well?
My number, the number to reach me is 074 75 378 999. That's 999. And you can get me on social media with Max, M-A-X, and then K as initial. Mixer is M-R-X-E-R. So that's Max K Mixer on all social media. You can track me down. On the number, especially to reach me quickly, 074 75 378 999. And I will be very, very grateful if you can make even £5 to £3 there. It will still make a difference in Liberia.
Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. But thank you for coming. It's a pleasure having you. And to you, the viewers at home as well, we thank you very much for watching. Until next week, it was me, Bailo Jallo, and African Voices. And thank you.